The Shelleyan subgenre, exploring Mary Shelley's themes and their influence on Warhammer 40,000. Mary Shelley's works are a cornerstone of Gothic literature and early science fiction, deeply engaging with themes of human hubris, isolation, and the ethical consequences of scientific advancement. These themes, which define what can be called the Shelleyan subgenre, have profoundly influenced dystopian and speculative fiction. A striking example of this influence can be found in the lore of the Warhammer 40,000 universe, which reflects many of Shelley's key motifs. Creation and hubris. In Shelley's work, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein epitomizes the dangers of human overreach. Victor Frankenstein's quest to create life leads to devastating consequences for himself and others, illustrating the ethical perils of unchecked ambition. His creation, the creature, is both a marvel of science and a harbinger of destruction, reflecting humanity's hubris in attempting to control nature. In Warhammer 40,000, the Adeptus Mechanicus mirrors Victor Frankenstein's hubris. Their relentless pursuit of knowledge and the resurrection of lost technologies often result in catastrophic consequences. The creation of the Men of Iron, sentient AI constructs that rebelled against humanity, is a direct parallel to Frankenstein's creature. Both represent humanity's failure to foresee the dangers of playing God. Isolation and alienation. In Shelley's work, isolation is a recurring theme in Frankenstein and the Last Man. Victor isolates himself in his obsessive pursuit of knowledge, while the creature is alienated from society due to its appearance. Similarly, Lionel Verney in The Last Man experiences profound loneliness as the sole survivor of a global plague. In Warhammer 40,000, isolation defines the Imperium of Man. The Emperor, entombed on the Golden Throne, is a figure of immense power yet profound solitude. The alienation of humanity from its creations, such as the abhorrence of artificial intelligence after the Men of Iron Rebellion, reflects Shelley's exploration of the loneliness that arises from humanity's own hubris. The duality of the human experience. In Shelley's work, Matilda, 1819, Shelley examines the complex interplay of love and grief, innocence and guilt. The titular character's relationship with her father and the subsequent tragedy lead her to oscillate between emotional extremes. This duality underscores the tension between human desires and moral boundaries. In Warhammer 40,000, this duality is mirrored in characters like the Primarchs, who embody both greatness and tragic flaws. For instance, Horus, the Emperor's favored son, succumbs to corruption, embodying the conflict between loyalty and ambition. These layered portrayals echo Shelley's exploration of emotional and moral duality. Moral duality. Dystopia and catastrophe. In Shelley's work, The Last Man is an early dystopian work that imagines a world ravaged by plague. It critiques humanity's arrogance and explores the fragility of civilization, showing how easily societal structures collapse under pressure. In Warhammer 40,000, the entire setting is a dystopian nightmare. The Imperium is a decaying, authoritarian regime perpetually on the brink of collapse, beset by internal corruption and external threats. The galaxy's apocalyptic state mirrors Shelley's vision of civilization's fragility, highlighting humanity's inability to overcome its own flaws. Technology and social progress. In Shelley's work, Shelley's mythological dramas, such as Proserpine from 1820 and Midas from 1820, explore humanity's flaws through the lens of classical myths. Midas, for instance, critiques greed and the unintended consequences of human desires. These works highlight the dangers of unchecked technological and societal ambition. In Warhammer 40,000, the Mechanicus' reverence for ancient technologies and their refusal to innovate parallels Shelley's warnings. The stagnation of technological progress in the Imperium, combined with the disastrous consequences of past advancements like the Men of Iron, reflects humanity's fraught relationship with progress and its social implications. The fragility of civilization. In Shelley's work, The Mortal Immortal, from 1833, portrays the isolation and despair of a man cursed with immortality. The protagonist's unending existence becomes a metaphor of the fragility of man, connections, and societal structures which crumble over time. In Warhammer 40,000, the Imperium's decline exemplifies this theme, the Emperor himself especially. Its reliance on outdated technologies, coupled with internal strife and external threats, underscores the precariousness of even the most powerful civilizations. The eternal stagnation of the Imperium reflects the existential despair of Shelley's immortal protagonist. Cosmic indifference and the sublime. In Shelley's work, In the Fields of Fancy, Shelley explores human insignificance in the face of vast, indifferent cosmic forces. This romantic notion of the sublime underscores the tension between human aspirations and the overwhelming power of nature. In Warhammer 40,000, the Warp, a chaotic dimension of both potential and peril, embodies cosmic indifference. Humanity's reliance on the Warp for faster-than-light travel, despite its dangers, reflects Shelley's vision of nature as a sublime, indifferent force that is both awe-inspiring and threatening. The ethical dilemmas of leadership. In Shelley's work, The Fortunes of Perkin Warbeck, from 1830, examines the moral and ethical challenges of leadership. Through the story of a pretender to the throne, Shelley critiques the consequences of ambition and the weight of political responsibility. In Warhammer 40,000, leaders in the Warhammer universe, from the Emperor to planetary governors, frequently grapple with ethical dilemmas. The Emperor's decision to create the Primarchs and the Space Marines, and the subsequent betrayal by Horus, echoes Shelley's exploration of leadership's moral complexities. Hope amidst despair. In Shelley's work, Transformation, from 1831, explores themes of redemption and resilience. A disfigured man's Faustian bargain leads to betrayal, but his ultimate redemption reflects the persistence of hope even in the darkest times. In Warhammer 40,000, hope persists in the grim darkness of the far future. Figures like Saint Celestine inspire faith and resilience among humanity, echoing Shelley's portrayal of redemption and hope amid despair. These glimmers of hope provide a counterbalance to the overarching bleakness of the setting. Identity and otherness. In Shelley's work, Shelley's characters often grapple with identity and societal rejection. The creature in Frankenstein is the quintessential other, yearning for acceptance in a world that reviles it. Similarly, Matilda's titular character struggles with her sense of self in the face of tragedy. In Warhammer 40,000, themes of identity and otherness permeate the setting. Space Marines, genetically altered superhumans, often question their humanity. The treatment of mutants and abhumans as pariahs mirrors Shelley's exploration of societal rejection and the struggle for identity. In conclusion, the themes in Mary Shelley's works, creation and hubris, isolation, dystopia, the sublime, ethical responsibility, feminism, duality, and the existential inquiry, find rich parallels in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. Shelley's exploration of humanity's flaws and aspirations resonates deeply with the grimdark narrative of Warhammer 40,000, making the term Shelleyan a fitting descriptor for both her works and their influence on dystopian science fiction. Her legacy endures in the stories of a universe where humanity's ambition and fragility are eternally at odds. So be sure to subscribe for more horror, occult, and Lovecraft madness. Until next time, Cthulhu FUCC.IT.